somebody tell me Expectus is trolling us with these numbers?
Expectus is trolling us with these numbers.
It's not too hard.
Are you lying? Are you lying to me, Rick?
Well, he can't sell it, he said.
Yeah, I think it's... I don't know, man. The thing is, it's one thing to have... Like you were saying, like there has to be a buyer for him to be able to sell that amount. You know, who's buying $1 million of a shitcoin on a DEX? Unless you have 1 million idiots that are paying, you know, an equal amount.
Check this out. I can do the same thing. Ding! Look, it's fine. Actually, shit went down.
Good morning, YouTubes. I'm gonna see if I can find some trends with the fellas and the girls.
Sounds trendy.
At everyone. Boom. Send now.
Not really good at finding trends, and we're better at setting them.
Yeah.
No.
So Bitcoin broke out of this downtrend it was in. That was nice. I can see the support trend it was on too, that eventually was lost. That's this guy here. Something like that. Oh. Probably started around here. And then this was a fake out, or a fake down, I would say, testing $66,000 at the time. So when you're uptrending, you definitely want to keep an eye on the trend that is keeping you up and making the market go up. So, like the support side. Now when you're crashing, you focus on the downtrend, you focus on the trend on the top side that is holding you down. So it's holding you down or keeping you up. So right now we're being kept
You might
up.
want to even look at coffee.
So is there a trend on Bitcoin right now keeping us up? There hasn't really been one established on higher time frames yet, because we've only got a little bit of action so far. But if you go back to the 15-minute chart, yeah, maybe there is one. It's just a bit weird. You can't quite, because the lows
It already
aren't,
fell out of it.
Yeah, like the lows aren't uniform at this point. There's some uniformity over here. But yes, we did fall out of it. I see that. Yep, I see that there, right there. Damn. Okay. But now we're back up on top of it, so that's a bit confusing. You can certainly see it on the 5-minute chart. As we zoom in. Now I'll zoom out. See this yellow line? This is where I'm saying it bounced off the flipper for Bitcoin right here. So you got that little cradle there of support, and that comes from, if I zoom out all the way back here, from the all-time high trending downward. There is a line that it seems to have used for now. So yeah, that's currently what Bitcoin's up to, trying to hold this uptrend. I can see there's like a sub range forming up here, like something like that. If we get that happening. Hopefully the velocity of this,
or slows it down.
Hopefully this is high velocity enough to where it busts out before this becomes a trend in its own self, like a range. If we can avoid ranges, that'd be great. Definitely don't want that. Wonder if what's up Gianluca, what's up buddy, what's up Blake, what's up Faizen King and M. Hope you guys are doing well. Smash the like button. Doge is at least on like the 4 hour, even probably the daily. Oh, let's go back down to like the 1 hour actually. You've got a top
What's
side.
up, YouTube?
Yeah, what's up? And look, you've got
In today's video,
in today's video, I'm gonna show you trend lines. So there's a B touch, and then a C touch. We just haven't had a D touch, but maybe that'll come later. On the top side, we've also got an A, B, and C touch. And something's got to give, you know? Something will fail its D. Or perhaps we get Ds that get respected. And if you have a D that gets respected, then you're looking for an E, perhaps.
Mine is respected.
Maybe the E gets broken.
I mean, if you want somebody to come, you definitely got to touch the D.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If you want the market to erupt, if you want full penetration, you have to break the D. You have to break out of the D.
Whoa.
But so far we've just got ABCs.
Yeah. No good D goes a third.
And I don't mean ABC correction, I just mean, you know, touches on a trend line, that's all. So three decent touches here on Doge on the supportive trend and the resistant trend. Right, and that's where we're at with Dogecoin, I think. Everything else is kind of, what would you call it? Subprime to the prime trend lines. These are the prime lines. And everything else is sub. At least from this time frame lower. So like if you go down the 5 minute on Doge, you can probably see a trend. Yeah, look, there's a trend line right here. From here to here. It's kind of nice. Except this little hook that it's making. See, when a trend gets departed the way it is here, and it starts getting steeper, that is like the beginning stages of what can become a parabola, a parabolic move. It just keeps getting higher and more aggressive and steeper angle. That's what a parabolic curve, that's how it starts. I'm not trying to suggest that will happen with Doge because this is still early, and we're only on the 5 minute time frame, but it's pretty cool. What could
Well, it's
be
like anytime it's creating that curve, it's technically a parabolic curve, but it's like, will that parabola launch you to higher levels, or will it, you know, have its own little peak that then drops you out of it?
Exactly, 100%. So there's no doubt we're in some kind of rising structure on Doge on the 5 minute chart at least. We've got higher lows and higher highs, so uptrend. What's up, Jack? Did you check out my little YouTube thumbnail? Been doing it with Bing AI. You just send out some prompts and it produces a nice result. Nice fast way to create a stream thumbnail. All right.
Do you gotta pay for Bing AI?
Nah, it's completely free. You just have to sign in
That's
with your
legit.
Microsoft account. You just have to sell your soul, basically. Yeah, as long as you're signing in with your Microsoft account.
Just give them all your data. It's fine.
That's right. Yeah, we
You
want
can't
to know
show
what
me
you're
on
trying
your
to
spot
create.
where you're picking up some ICP. I don't want to hear about you anymore.
Oh, you want to do some ICP analysis? I'll do it. Let's have a look.
And check it out. Looks pretty good.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
saying
we
like
were-
early this morning
Hmm.
when it was down like in the low 15s. I was like, yeah, dude, grab this.
Let's check ICP out. Okay. Well, on this time frame, you can certainly see an ascending triangle.
But you didn't
like
trade it.
It's like a flat top there right now. I think. Some people might argue that as to what they think it is, but look, there's some kind of resistance at that level. And
If you
you've
zoom
got-
out, you can see a huge bull flag.
And you got, yeah, oh yeah, I'm sure there would be one. Of sorts. Knowing that the market has been uptrending lately. In the last month or so. So this is weird. This is weird in the general, because you got a low point which does not marry up with any trend. I can't establish a trend from that point, so I'm not going to include it. But I can establish an ABC here. A touch, B touch, C touch. And I can see a flat top of sorts. So that gives me the reasoning to consider this an ascending triangle formation. Maybe it's more like this. It's weird, you don't get like these nice textbook uniform touches. It's sort of... yeah. It's a bit of a mess, but... alright, I'm gonna jump out on the really high time frame. Let's see if
Put up
there's
on the 1 hour.
yeah. It's down to 5 now, let's go to
When
the
you-
1 hour.
When you're done with that coin, if you want to, if you have some time, maybe we can look at XLM together.
Yeah, for sure. Look at all the
Cool.
good ones.
I'm thinking
And the
that
bad
looks like a
ones.
big ass bull flag right into the support at the top of that previous range.
It's kind of cool, man.
It's also
This,
right
um,
around like the
this-
200 on the 4 hour and the 1 hour.
It's hard to sort of get a consensus on the support side of it, but I'm just gonna put that in for now. Look, you got a series of touches here, there. Yes, some here. There's a wick through it, but we won't let our lives be ruled by wicks out of the
Look
ordinary.
at the-
out of the... Now the top side's kind of cool because there's a bit more uniformity. It's wicky on the top side, a little bit wicky, I like around that. The height, the upper echelons.
Throw a horizontal support line on those previous tops. Like, see where those previous tops are at.
You mean these guys or these ones?
No, the
Or the left.
the two bigger ones to the left.
Zoom out a bit.
Oh, like as in zoom out.
Those guys.
Fine. Aha.
The two
Okay.
peaks,
SR.
the two major peaks. Yeah.
SR. Yeah. Gotcha. Something what I like around here. Yeah, I can certainly see.
I mean, it's kind of more of a
Basically,
zone. It did dip
It's
below it a
zone,
bit,
yeah.
but
You can see some bounce action off it there. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that might cause a little bit of trouble as we come back up. We'll see it. It's a bit of a hurdle to pass to get through it, but that's still cool. I like it. I'm gonna leave these lines on. Make that yellow, different color. Trends. Someone was asking me about Solana, so I'll have a look at Solana. It's probably a similar story, almost. You've got like a...
Fucking go, Rick.
Yeah, what's up, dude? KG.
Yeah, pump the market up. Let's go.
What did they do to our Silly? I haven't even looked at Silly in like a week or
Don't you know,
something.
Pump it up.
Oh, Rick, biscuits back?
No.
Oh.
I'm still licking my wounds. I'll be back later. Sorry, Biscuit. I didn't mean it. Just having fun. Alright.
Don't be a pussy.
Anyone see this PAL shit?
Let me hide this Fibonacci.
Anyone see this James O'Keefe stuff?
Nah, man, what is that all about?
How could they do this to us?
They had a hidden camera with someone from the Fed talking about
Ooh.
PAL against conservatives.
Oh,
Just came out.
really?
Matches. Dig in.
Thanks.
A little bit of
Bitcoin to
PAL drama, huh?
150K. Let's go.
A little bit of PAL drama. Okay, so for Solana, you've got a support trend coming down like this on the lower time frames. You've also got a resistance trend line coming down. This is like looking like a falling wedge right now. That's juicy, man. That's reason to look for a breakout, I think. Because you've got double reason here. Okay. Not only are you using this prime shape, you've got, you know, here and here. So you've got an A and a B on the prime resistance. And you've got an A and a B here. So you've got an anchor and then a point of reference. So it's like you anchor it here. And then the next, like, provided this is a pivot point, we're just assuming that for now. This is definitely a pivot on the top side because you got all of this action that followed it. Whereas here, it could have been here, it could have been there, but it's too local. Like these little pivots are too close to each other and low magnitude to consider them of significance, if that makes sense. So, but two reasons to go up. You've got the prime bounce here, like that, and you've also got the subprime bounce down here. And look, this guy here, this B, has double reasons to pivot here, and it is. So I think because this is a higher time frame situation down here, the blue one down here, this should break this down trend here. I think this, my call would be, or my money would be on going like that, but not financial advice. That's Solana.
Congratulations everyone who bought XLM on the dip this morning.
Oh yeah, let's look at XLM while we're at it.
Oh man, it's you know, it had a nice little bouncer. Nothing crazy going on. Just trying to hold higher low.
There's trends. You see it apexing, like before I even draw anything, you can see it. It's working on something, man. You got
Isaac.
You got this way. This is very clean. Oh, look how sexy that is. Look at the touches, man. There is no doubt about those touches. They're just very uniform. So uniform. I mean, these touches would fit in North Korea because they're so obedient. Look, see? 1, 2, 3, right there.
That's terrible.
I'm
This
sorry.
liquid deck coming from the TV.
And then you've got, even on the bottom side, XLM is acting like North Korea right here. It's just, they're all in line, they're all uniform, they're paying attention. They're doing as they're told.
Right on.
I mean,
heard you, Kwai. What's up, man?
You can get some American trends.
Real quick, friggin' ICP, bull flag into support. Dragonfly Doji off of the 200 on the 4-hour, and you're actually in a 0.5 zone as well.
It sounds like someone playing WoW. Oh my god, when Quiet saying that, like, remember Leroy Jenkins? You know, 2.33 repeating, of course.
Repeating, of
let's do
course.
this. Yeah. Why does you got you know, something into it? I can say I'll fly Doji.
Now, I wanna show
Another
you
thing
guys
that's
something.
One more thing. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the
go ahead.
stochastic's pretty friggin' low on the 4-hour as well. It's been oversold. The RSI dipped below 30, I think, on the 4-hour at one point.
Nice. So
I mean, if BTC goes upwards of fucking somewhere towards 80K, I think ICP could do like 40 to 60%.
Wait. So Mocat and I, and friends and other peoples, I think Turbo was in there at the time too. No, OG was definitely. We were looking at these like big lines on Bitcoin on the linear time frame. So, sorry, a linear chart on the, probably the daily, was it? Maybe the daily. But we were like, oh, is there any kind of like really super high time frame things that we should be looking at? And yes, look at the way we've got our 65K all-time high from back in April of 2021 produces a line that marries up with the 69K. Well, it's not, I mean, these were 2 points on the chart that were just provided by the price action, right? But if you take that line and parallel it down, look at the way it lines up with A down here, B here, C here. I know that a lot of people have seen this already, D and E. That is a nice, important channel to be paying attention to. So in modern times, like in the recent days, we've come back up into this channel now, this grand riser. And where I think there's some targets up here. Like if we're gonna use 1, 2, we want to know where 3 is, right? That's gonna be somewhere up here around, like, well over $85,000. This is probably like up into the 90s.
The guys are rigged.
Stage. Now, if it takes longer, the longer it takes to get there to the top of this channel, the more expensive Bitcoin will be. Like the higher up, we probably be looking at $100,000 Bitcoin, you know, by around mid 2025. It just depends. I mean, look, so much can happen. Obviously, like from this point to like around here, like you could get dumpage, you could get, you know, another trend that rallies up and gets rejected, comes down again. I mean, this is very volatile, but something like that could happen. That would be brutal. If something like that happened, like a dump back down to... At this stage, if we were to dump down and find support on this big channel, that would put Bitcoin at... Like if it happened today, technically, like just for argument's sake, we'd come down to 49,000, 49,500. That's the bottom of this channel. And then you've also got an ascending channel as well. Not as many touches, but look at that little sub-trend that happened in here. So this is just like identifying the angle that the market's moving at. There's a lot of evidence on the chart showing that this is the angle. Though I can see there are others, like this one here's kind of a situation as well. So you got some activity off it, but something like that. You can see. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. This angle is because of this touch, this rejection, this rejection, this rejection, this rejection here. Gave me, I think that was my original line. This was my original line here. And then everything else was just a parallel, picking out points to see if, oh yeah, there's kind of a parallel with that touch and this touch. Yeah.
You know, what's really interesting, Rick, is with this little movement today, back to the top side, we've come back out of that symmetrical triangle that we broke out of and then failed. We're coming, we broke it again.
Bounced off the flipper, exactly. If I go down to the 1 hour, you can, where's the bounce point? I might have to go to the 4 hour.
Well, it's also, if you go to the lowest wick on March 12th, that's the support line we bounced off of today on candle closes on the 4 hour.
4 hour, Candle closes March 12. Oh, you mean this? Yeah, that's savage down. And you are you talking about a line of support resistance or a trend line?
Well, the first comment was the angular resistance on the top of the symmetrical triangle that we broke back again, but the second comment was the March 12th thing.
Yeah, that low.
If you look at that big giant wick on March 12th at 12 UTC,
yeah,
and draw a line over, that's exactly where our candle closes on the 4-hour hit precisely.
Oh, okay. Because I already had that line in.
That's what OG's been talking about.
If you throw a profile volume on here too, I would bet you that's probably point of control. Let's see.
And
yep,
you said,
pretty close.
You said like a daily, we had a daily situation off that line, or a 4-hour time frame. Yeah, you see the same 4-hour. Oh yeah, dude, I see it.
I'm streaming if you want to look.
All right, I'll have a look. But on the 4-hour chart, look at that bullish engulfing candle. Not this one, but the one previous. Huge engulfer. Really nice.
An engulfer.
It's an engulfer. I'll just have a look one sec. It's gonna bring your screen across so that YouTube can see what the hell we're talking about here. Yeah, fire away. You may fire when ready.
We're on YouTube?
Yep.
Okay. So we were all watching this symmetrical triangle?
Yes.
Where we all got excited because it broke out and then it broke back down. But what I'm saying is it found, besides the fact that it's just broken out again, or attempting.
Yeah.
The support it seems to have found was this March 12th wick right here, the bottom. Pull that across. That's where the candle closes on the 4-hour. Found support.
Oh, yeah.
And what's interesting, if you throw a volume profile on there from here to today, that's pretty much where the point of control is.
Oh yeah.
We kind of wicked a little bit through it, but
gotcha.
Basically, I would say that.
Look at the SR of it.
So I would say that this area right here is your demand box.
Mm-hmm. Can you see the W? If you just see the push down from the all-time high and how we come right down. Yep, see the W. See the W after as we come down and form the bottom of the big triangle. So go left. Yeah, that. So those two bottom touches that form the beginning of your bottom trend line there. That's a big old W. Now the top of the middle of your W is the SR line you're talking about.
That's an inverse head and shoulders that we were playing with a week ago. And then in that inverse head and shoulders, we had a secondary inverse head and shoulders, which was right here, a smaller one.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. I like that.
And so the measured move on that was roughly about 76, 77. But we clearly lost momentum. And then I don't know about you, I got very excited when I saw this. But then now it's kind of bear flaggy, but it's been bear flagging on this 4-hour chart for way too long. If it was a bear flag, I feel like it should have dropped already. So you could argue this is like a reaccumulation channel potentially.
Is that not just a retest of your neckline, from your inverse? Because it had a bit of an angular neckline there, didn't it? The larger one.
Well, correct. So the original test of the neckline was right here, and then we got this bullish engulfing candle.
Right.
The only thing that was a little concerning is there wasn't a lot of volume behind it. If you look down here, interestingly enough, on this big wick here, we saw a pretty decent amount of volume. If you look at the last time we saw volume higher than what we saw today, what would have been at this point up here when we were trying to coincidentally break that line I drew. right here. We were trying to break through there, and we failed.
Look at right now. Look at your stochastic RSI down the bottom. It is primed to move up.
Well, I'll show you. Wait till you see the 8 hour. I was looking at that earlier. Look at the 8 hour.
It's crazy to see how easy it is to call it after.
But I'm gonna scare you. I'm gonna scare you. Ready?
Oh hell yeah!
Actually, this candle on the 8 hour is very impressive with that.
Golfer,
but to get a little worried would be the daily,
because
we're kind of double pumped here on the stochastic, and we're kind of the last time we did something like that, which is making me a little nervous, was where is it?
Don't be nervous. It's going up there. It's a cat, man.
I can't find it anymore, but weekly looks good still. Again, the only thing that makes it a little nerve-wracking is this stochastic.
Yeah.
I mean, look, there's honestly, I have no idea what the fuck's gonna happen. I see one of two scenarios, and I'm not trying to play both sides because I just DCA, so I don't give a fuck if it goes up or down. There is a huge argument if you go to monthly BTC,
50-50 chance.
one thing you'll notice
you're in log,
is,
or you're intending to be in log,
or is it weekly? Yeah, okay. So at some point after you hit the bottom, you come back up, and we typically retest that 50 EMA. We dropped to 200 during COVID, but even if you look at the cycle before that, once we bear marketed out below the 200 and came back up, you got to test that 50 a couple of times and ride that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you look at where we're at right now in this cycle, we haven't even touched the 50.
I know, right?
That's a little scary because we came back to the north side of the 200. We didn't touch the 50, we touched the 200. We touched the 200 again, kind of got like a little double bottom there. And then we just fucking took off. We've been nowhere near the 50 since then on the weekly. So the argument to be made is if this, well, and here's another thing to consider, this blue line right here. If you draw a trend line resistance from peak of 2017 through here, we're going possibly to 182 or higher. But if you draw a trend line from the last two peaks from the last cycle, right here, we're getting pretty toppy here as we approach the halving. So taking into consideration how in previous cycles we've always hit the 50 EMA, there is a good argument to be made that we might go down to like 50K at some point, maybe right after the halving. Maybe we'll pump up, we'll hit this blue line, we'll come back down to like the 50 area, retest this 50 EMA right here, and then take off to the next price discovery
phase. Yeah, which is beautiful, because if you want to make your positions larger, that is an opportunity right there to do it, which is how I see it. I mean, play it as you want, but I see that as just a fire sale,
Anybody want to see an argument for a $3.8 million Bitcoin this cycle?
Wow. You're gonna give Cat?
Yeah, but yo, static, real quick. I got a question.
This sounds crazy, but watch this.
Nope.
This sounds crazy, and I don't think it'll happen. But just hear me out.
Okay.
If you follow this angular resistance, we definitely didn't get anywhere, and everybody feels like the last cycle got muted for various reasons. And everybody was calling for, remember, a six-figure BTC. So what would that six-figure BTC have brought us to? Possibly, if we had continued to, if we hadn't done this little dip here, right? Because BTC's never really done that before, like a double top.
Yeah.
If it had kept going, there would have been an argument for a $250,000 BTC.
Whoa.
So now the argument is, if we follow this trend line from 2013 through 17, and we assume that we were destined last cycle to be up there, but we didn't. Now maybe it's time for that catch-up super cycle that's going to break diminishing returns. And if it doesn't get muted here as a triple top, which would be disastrous, because then we will see a 9K BTC, but it's not going to happen. So one argument is, I would argue we're just going to peak out roughly around, I don't know, 175, 200, whatever, in line with this blue line.
Right.
But if this blue line shouldn't even really be here, because the destiny of BTC last cycle was 2K or 250K-ish, if you follow that blue line
Goes up to 3
and assume this last cycle was muted, then you're up around 3.7. Which, you know what? Doesn't look crazy on the charts.
No, not really.
Certainly looks crazy in terms of the amount of market cap that would be. That would be out of control in the US dollar. We'd all be living in that Civil War movie.
Fuck yeah.
Fucking loaf of bread would be like $3,000.
Damn. What if we do get muted here in a triple top? What do you think about that?
Damn.
I don't think that's possible, because the one thing that BTC has that your typical stocks and currencies don't have is when you're trading forex, every currency has, you know, economic disaster and the ability to print more money or burn money or raise interest rates. The one thing that BTC has that no stock has and no currency has is a built-in algorithm for supply and demand. I mean, the halving is the one thing that forces BTC to pretty much constantly be going up, because it's got a dramatic drop in supply every 4 years. And as we go through this S-curve of adoption, you know, I saw this YouTuber the other day. It was quite a brilliant way to explain this. He said this first cycle was the Genesis, like, you know, let there be light, the Genesis cycle. Right. This was the early adopters. Early adopters. This was the early awareness. And what was the fourth one, Rick? The last cycle?
Oh,
beta.
Early awareness. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Genesis, awareness.
Early adopters, early awareness.
Yeah.
And then this cycle he coined was early adoption. Early adoption.
So what happens when one entity owns too much of something that doesn't inflate?
Well, that only benefits them.
The 50% theory, yeah.
BlackRock or whatnot. That's the only issue with the whole inflationary.
It becomes okay. Like if you play that out, okay, if someone owns like all of Bitcoin's market cap, why is that a benefit to them? Who's the buyer? Like, okay, you dry up
EFTs.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're not selling it,
benefit.
Yeah, if you're not selling it, if you're taking that off the market's hands, then we have to play. The chips we have to play with is the other 50% of the market cap. So that's
the EFTs. That
finites the game a lot more. Like if you want to talk about finite supply, then that's if you just eliminate half of Bitcoin's supply because you're not selling it, you're just holding it. You're just raising the
value of it.
Yeah. So
because it's getting scarcer, and you can sell it as EFTs instead of Bitcoin.
Right. So you're contributing.
Yes.
You'd be contributing to major growth potential, like because if you're holding a floor up and up, I kind of have a hunch. Point. Yeah, I kind of have a hunch. This is what Elon Musk is doing with Dogecoin. It's holding it at it can't get lower than 5 cents, man. Like, we tried our best, but we just could not get down below 5 cents. And
if you look at Bitcoin dips.
Yeah, if you look at Doge's entire history before it got over 5 cents, it was suggesting it has no reason to be up at 5 cents. Like it was all below 1 cent, arguably, like most of it. So it's just weird to be holding 5 cents all of a sudden for it.
People online were talking about like how they're gonna make the 5 cents the new floor, but that was like back in 2020.
There you go. Well, I'd love to see that.
Can you guys hear me?
No.
Thanks for showing that static. Appreciate it. And look at Bitcoin.
Oh, yeah, by the way,
on a tear right now, by the way. Look at that candle, dude.
Genesis, early adopters, mainstream awareness, and then mainstream adoption.
We've got, oh damn.
Hey, Rick, can I show you one more thing, Rick? I just realized.
Sure.
Cat.
That yellow line.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Point of control through here, but then what's interesting? Point of control through this entire triangle.
Yeah. Would be below us now. Yeah.
Same.
Oh yeah.
And so if we draw this red line here, right between the two of them.
Yeah.
Agreed. That's pretty close, right?
Yeah. That's what I mean. It's the top of the. So the big W that I'm talking about. The top of the middle point is where your point of control's going across. Yeah, I see it.
Let me delete it. Hold on.
You're right.
I think I got a question.
Watch this. It's your all-time high from 2021.
Yeah, $69,000. Yeah.
And it's finding support.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I saw some son of a bitch. I keep getting notifications.
Fucking 4-hour candle. Holy shit.
Oh,
I saw some on YouTube last night before this candle like really started printing. I saw someone on YouTube talking about how that could possibly be a harmonic bat pattern.
It's a fucking cat.
So, what would if it makes a higher high? Would that invalidate it? Like if it makes a higher high than its previous local high, or would it have to make a new all-time high to invalidate it? If you're talking static, I can't hear you.
No, I'm looking.
It looked like you were pointing to stuff like as if you were talking.
Well, I don't. This fib right here. I mean, call up Mitch Ray and Scott Carney because they're the experts in this, but I believe this fib is not correct. I believe it has to be below an 87.7, or maybe I'm wrong. Could be a Gartley.
Yeah, I know Gartleys exist. I haven't dived into understanding them yet. I haven't even begun to try and want to learn about them yet.
Look at.
But.
So the mid-section's not high enough.
No.
Or it's too high.
It's kind of like the bats that Turbo draws. In a way.
Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing, if that was a bearish Gartley, this one up here would have to be a 786. And right now, it's way over that. So basically, long story short, what that would mean is that
it's invalidated.
We got too big of a pump on D.
Mm-hmm. Pump on the D, my dude.
Too much D.
Too much
D
was too big.
Yeah.
It's a lot of technical analysis.
It is.
Yeah, I'm kind of more married to the
Cats have 2
triangle,
ears.
but it bothered me that it looks like it did a false breakup, and now it's back outside of it again.
Oh no, it definitely
did. I think it came to a 0.5. If you go to your
did.
recent low to the swing high,
It did. It went right to 0.5. That's it. Head and shoulders.
Went to the 0.5. You have what looks like a hammer or a dragonfly or something off of there.
Yeah, if you take log off, it didn't basically hit a 0.5.
That's what I was posting last night. How that candle, it looked like it wanted to hold the 200 as well. I think
This is a monster candle. This has got to be, well, with the exception of this sucker.
Yep.
All these touches, dude.
I still have an hour to go, and it's hitting the 78.6.
You know how I knew we were going back up there? Because cats have 2 ears.
Let me
And
tell
it's
you,
their ear.
I think we're at one of these points where it's not about TA. To be honest, when you hit areas like where we're at right now, like that fucking red line that goes all the way back to here, TA becomes astrology for men. Because what ends up happening realistically is, I mean, look at this. We broke this symmetrical triangle. Oh my God, look how great our TA was. Symmetrical triangle broke out, and then we get fucked. And so then you short this shit, and then all of a sudden this fucking erection candle pops up, and you're going long. So when you get to these levels, the TA starts to break down a little bit because it's not about what's on the chart. It's about what the people with money want to do to us.
Oh no.
You know, it gets pretty wicked here. You know, so basically it's one of these scenarios where if you go long, guess what? They're going short. And if you go short, they're going long because they're looking at the order stacks.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I don't know.
Right.
TA seemed to work out pretty good.
I'll tell you what, we're an hour and 20 away from the daily close, and Bitcoin is swiftly trying to reclaim those highs from a couple of days ago.
Swiftly.
Really swiftly, mate. Swiftly. Swift.
Static, you want to take a quick look at one more chart for me?
ICP?
I had a feeling you were going to ask me to look at ICP.
I'll be back.
How'd you know?
Alright. Just while I've deafened myself and muted myself from the Discord for a minute, I just wanted to talk with you, YouTubes. I'll keep this stream like fairly, brief. I'm not going to go beyond an hour. We'll keep it at an hour. What's up, Brandy? Just trying to see if there's any other trends that we should be thinking about at the moment on Bitcoin. So on a supportive side, like we had that one, that's fine. If we extend that, that could cause a problem if we don't get above it as we climb up here like this. Could cause drama. We'll see what happens. But is there any other line of importance? And maybe from this wick down to this wick here, there could be like some kind of rhyme or reason connecting it. No, not quite. I was trying to see why this pivoted where it did. Maybe it comes from... I'm just gonna do something real quick. If we use that as a pivot point, I want to see why, like what marries up with the past to give us that line. Is there something from down here? Yeah, there kind of is. Look at that. So if you take, I know this is quite a long shot. It's coming from way back. Let me just hide the price levels. Let's go up time frames. Let's go to the 4 hour. You can see from back here, this touch here, this is a very important launch point. It didn't really do much with these trends here. It tried to, but we lost it. Initially, yeah, it was actually producing. You had A, B, and then C there. So there's B and there's C. But you lost it here. This is where it got, this is where that trend line became, I don't want to say the word invalidated because this is still valid trend line here, right? This is the point where it leaves the trend. The trend gets broken, let's just say that. It's the point where it broke the trend. So now we're looking at a different trend. So could this be part of a much larger trend line coming up? Because we got, I would argue you've almost got 3 really nice touches there. And I mean like obedient touches Oh, it's close to being very obedient. It's not quite 100% there, but it's close. It is very close because this is remember this is a high time frame. This is the 4 hour. You got a touch there, and then recently touch there. So it is beautiful how this all lines up. Price goes back, you know, almost. It'd be cool if this actually dipped a little lower and we got like a fourth. That would have been nice, because then we could really marry in on that trend line there. But we didn't, so that's fine. This is why we've got these yellow lines here. So at one point, we were tracking that touch there and this touch down here to see if we would, you know, find support off it over here. But as we know, it's supported a lot higher, which made me draw in a more solid trend line for A, and then I'm calling that B. The wick through it was like, you know, a push beyond, is a bit of over exuberance perhaps, because evidently it gets back on this trend line and you've got more points of respect for the trend line being like this angle. And look at where the apex is, guys. Right on the halving, basically. There's the halving. We're coming up on it. It's like 8 or 9 days away. 9 or 8 days. But there's a lot of bullishness at the moment. Like, if I take away all the lines, you can see these lows are getting higher and higher. There's a lot of excitement. All of this structure, this resistance structure here, got broken by this push up here. So to me, that's an indication of a lot of excitement pent up in the market. I think this is gonna rocket up. That's my hunch. That's ultimately what I think we're doing here. I think we're gonna go up. Happy to be proven wrong by the chart, of course, at all times. Always happy to be proven wrong, but if you're asking me for a call to make, that would be my call. I think we're going up. I mean, it's just textbook, right? Uptrend, consolidation of sorts, and then break up. I don't think that's unwarranted to say that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover on the stream, was just go through some coins, track some trend lines. Trend lines have been coming a lot more into my focus now. I want to consistently look for any trends that are happening, you know, and then be aware of the break points, because when they break, it produces it can, or more likely than not, produce a move that you can trade on and count on as being the next, you know, the next phase or next outcome. So yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you on the next stream. This one went for 53 minutes. And have a good day, have a good night, wherever you are.